What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It's the 9th of May today. Here we are at about $103,000, 9 hours and 2 minutes left in the day. We had a little pullback down to about 102K, and we're just chilling here, guys. We're not doing too much. Looking at the daily RSI, we have reached a reading of 80. We've hit the 80 level and actually a little bit above there as of yesterday. I do expect that this move continues to run. I don't think that we've stopped here. But beforehand, I'm also anticipating that we see a little bit of a pullback. The fact that we haven't seen a pullback, I mean, to be fair, the price has stayed sideways, but the RSI has pulled back. And that's kind of what we're looking for, is the indicator to cool off. So the fact that we haven't seen a pullback yet is rather encouraging to the idea that we don't see a pullback, and very encouraging to the idea that there is just so much demand for this thing that even here at 103,000, we can't pull back to 100K just to back test that for support. Nobody's getting a second chance. I was reading a comment today. Let's see. Can I find it? Let's see. From you, Jacob Canefield. And I thought it was dumb. I thought it was really dumb. I like this guy. I do like this guy. But I think this. I don't agree with everything that he says. This right here. This is the kind of mentality that's going to get you left behind. This is the kind of mentality that's going to screw you up like, it genuinely is bad. It can be very difficult for most traders to watch the market move like this and be sidelined. The key is to not FOMO and be patient. You need to FOMO. The time for what are you talking about? Be patient and don't FOMO. You guys. That was this. That was all of this right here. That was from November until April 7th. That was that, right? Right now, he's a little bit behind on this, right? The key is not to FOMO and be patient. Mark your support and resistance levels on the chart and wait for them to be retested. At some point, you'll get buyer exhaustion and over leverage, and you get a cool down candle. Yeah, but not whenever everybody's in bearish post-traumatic stress syndrome mode, where they think that every pump we have dictates a pullback. Right? Everybody's going short at all these highs. They're not going long. I mean, some people might be. Some people are FOMOing, sure, but even the people going long are getting wrecked because we're just moving sideways. You know, like if you go long, I don't know what leverage you're using, but let's say you're good enough to catch the low and go long right at the low, and you got a 10% pump. That's awesome. But you had to wait a whole week of fees. You know, it diminishes the returns that you get, let alone any shorts that are coming in here that are very certain over that time that we're going to go lower, right? This is really a short trap, and as was this, but I digress. Let's continue reading, right? At some point, you'll get, At some point, you'll get buyer exhaustion, over leverage, and you get a cool down candle. Your bear market PTSD will say, but that's what I'm saying. There is bear market. It's happening right now. The trend is over, and want to short when the market is telling you it's flipping bullish. These cool offs likely coincide with 15-minute or okay, whatever. Basically, he's saying Bitcoin's pumped up a lot recently. Don't buy. Just wait for a cool off. But the thing is, guys, my question to you is, how well did that work out last time, right? I mean, it worked out inevitably. You had to wait for months. You had to wait for 6 months. But effectively then, what's being said here is, do we have to wait 6 months? What do you mean wait for prior support, prior resistance? Look, we did that already. We were patient. We found support at prior resistance. Now it's go time. It is panic mode time. It is with the utmost sense of urgency that you buy the high every single day until we're at new all-time highs, because only then can you be certain that we're coming near a cool-off period, right? But look at these consolidation phases, right? We're going to measure all of them. From the beginning here to the end here, that was a 31-week period. That's a long-ass time, 31 weeks. Here, from the beginning here to the end, I would say we broke out here, 32 weeks. 32 weeks, 31 weeks, pretty damn similar, right? Here, I would say we started consolidating here. I mean, we were in this phase there, and we broke out basically here, 22 weeks, right? So we're moving, we've consolidated for less time in this consolidation phase than either of the other two times. That's interesting. I thought this one was one of the longer ones, but it's actually a lot shorter. We haven't even seen new all-time highs yet. Every time that we've broken out of these unless what this is telling me is we're still in a consolidation phase and we got to pull back down and consolidate, in which case, Jacob, I'm going to have to make an apology video for you, man, because I'm just dead wrong if we see some kind of candle like this, and overall this is just one large consolidation phase still. But I don't think that's the case, guys. I think what happened, I think it's clear as day, is that we had a downtrend here. We had a consolidation phase and we've broken out of it. We back tested prior resistance as support and we broke out of it, just like we did here. Back tested prior resistance as support, just like we did here, back tested prior resistance as support. We've done the same thing now for every single consolidation phase. That's exactly what we've done: prior resistance, prior resistance. So in a certain essence, this is correct. This statement here is correct, but you're looking at it wrong if you're looking at shorter time frames, man. The longer time frames are what dictates where Bitcoin's going to go, and the directional shift, the bullish momentum, has only just begun, guys. It's only just begun. This last move, or the very first move I should say, from not the low, but where the move began, from this low to like the high of that move, that was a 90% move, right? This move here, not from the low, but from where the move began, right? From the low to the high there, that was a 68% move. This low here to a high here, that was a 91% move. And then not the low, but where the move actually started, which I think was from this low to this high, that was 105%. The moves are getting bigger as time goes on, right? They're getting bigger. My assumption here is that if even the smallest one was 68%, and by the way, we took a very small pause to continue to rip after that. I'm okay with that. I would love it if we only moved up 68%, took a small pause like this and ripped, because that was the biggest move of the cycle so far from start to finish. This is 196%, but separated into two moves. Kind of like this one, actually. It's separated into two moves, if we're being fair. Like that one's a 54. Technically, every move has gotten bigger as the cycles progress. Literally every single move, technically. Low to high here, yeah. I mean, you can see they literally are all getting bigger. But even at the smallest move, 68%, that puts us at 120K. We're at $103,000 right now. The urgency is now, because even at a pathetically small 68% growth overall, which is not going to happen, we're only going to see a bigger move than 105%. Even there, that's a 20% gain from here, and it's probably going to happen over the coming weeks. It's not going to stop. Have you noticed one thing about all of these moves up? By the way, they just went up. You just went up. You went up the week after week after week. There was no pullback. There was no forgiveness. There was no cool down candle. There was none. It didn't happen. It's not a thing that's happened at all in this whole bull market. We're not going to get it. What is going to happen is that we are going to likely see a move from the low that results in an overall greater than 105% growth, which 105% takes us to right about $155,000. So where are we going to go? We're likely, and what I'm talking about, where are we going to go? I'm talking about in one fell swoop. There will be volatility along the way, as there has been on every single move here. But it's not going to be a 30% pullback. It's not going to be a 30% pullback. It's not going to be a 20% pullback. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot less. It's going to be very insignificant. And the amount of downside that you might catch versus the amount of upside that you will miss if you don't buy. The upside is the move that you should be worried about missing, right? And to counter, again, just to counter this one more time, what he's saying here effectively is we've pumped up a lot in a short amount of time. Wait, just be patient for the pullback. The pullback's going to come. I'm different in that sense, because I say don't wait. If you wait, you're going to get left behind. Waiting hasn't worked out since April 7th. It's March 9th or May 9th now. It hasn't worked out over the last month. It's not going to work out over the next month or the month after that. It's not. Okay, maybe the month after that. Maybe it'll pay off a little bit, but that'll be because we're so high and we might need a pullback, over the coming months again. But my expectation is that this next move, and even if we take a similar time frame, right? We go from the low here, we put it there. I mean, that would put us in mid late July right there. And I'm thinking that we're going to end this move in late June, if not early July. But maybe it goes on until mid late July. Maybe. We're moving up a little bit faster here. This move stalled a little bit right here for like 3 or 4 weeks. We've just gotten right to it on this one. I don't know. Time will tell. But certainly, whether it's late July or late June, 106% doesn't seem to cut it, man. I think that we're going to see something that's closer to 170K. And the reason for that is from a high to a low, the 1618, the golden ratio extension at 173, 174K, that's where I think we're going to go. It's the next likely target based on the fibs anytime. I can't tell you guys enough how many times I've seen this exact kind of movement happen where you've consolidated, you go up to the 1272, you consolidate right below it like this, you don't hit the 100. This is absurdly bullish posturing that we're in. We're on a one-stop or a non-stop one-track mind to the next level, which is going to be 173K, 174K, the 1618. And Bitcoin with its 1618s, it likes to prod just above there. So maybe 180K actually, maybe 200K. You never know. I doubt 200K happens by the end of June or sometime in July, but still something just below that area is what I would anticipate. And it's going to be a nonstop motion. It's going to be just like it has been every single step of the way, this entire bull cycle, every time we move up, other than the very first one here. We moved up and then we consolidated for like a month and a half and then we moved up again. Other than the very first move, which were the weakest moves, we've only gotten stronger. And the narrative for crypto has only gotten stronger as a result too. It's literally inevitable at this point that we're going to see 170 to 180K. I'm going to get back to the point here. So that's the last cycle's high to low showing us this fib. It's very common when you consolidate like this to just rip right through to the golden ratio, sometimes even above it. I'm not calling for prices above it by the end of June or early July, but something here. You don't stop at the 1414. The 1414 is a meme now. It's a joke. It's not going to happen. 128K, maybe we stop there like momentarily, but on our path higher inevitably, right? It's not going to be a stop like this. That's certainly not what we're going to see. Okay, if we take a high here from our all-time high to the low that we had on April 7th, our 2272 is all the way up here with the 1618 as well, which that's a pretty obscure fib. It's hard to call from here which fib we're going to stop at, but one thing's for certain, or at least I'm assuming one thing's for certain, is that we're not going to stop here. At 105% growth, we're probably not going to stop here. So where are we going to go? Well, if we go anywhere higher, the next fib is literally right here. And it's very uncommon to stop in the space in between these fibs. You normally either stop here or you continue to the next one. So the case we just made out is either we stop at 160K or we stop at 180K. Because with the 1618, you go just above it. With the 2272, oftentimes you do go just above it. In fact, I would say even more so than the 1618. 180K, 170K, it's essentially a shoo-in, man. It's going to happen inevitably. And it's going to happen week by week by week by week. We're going to continue to grow every single step of the way, just like we have every single step of the way this whole bull market. There will not be a cool-off candle. If anybody out there, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, you. Do what you want. Do what you want. But if you think that waiting is going to help you right now, my question to you is, how has that worked out over the last month? How is waiting weighted out here? How did it work out here? I'm going to ask this question. I think it should be rather obvious. How is it going to work out now? It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. Don't wait. Get your money, park it in, eat it. You missed it. You missed part of it. You don't have to miss the rest of it, right? Here's your move overall. You could have caught the whole enchilada, but no, you had to split it in half. You had to go halvesies with whoever got in before you, right? And that's okay. But it won't be okay if you just keep letting it go. And then finally you FOMO in up here where it's inevitable, where it's obvious, okay, we're not getting a pullback. It's just going to go to and do this crazy move that we've all been expecting for months now. And then when you buy there, then it starts to consolidate. You get a little taste of victory, and then it starts to consolidate. And then it'll correct back to below where you even bought from. You know what I mean? Like that's at that point, it's not worth it. Here, you still have an opportunity to buy Bitcoin at a position of strength. Yes, at a position of strength, even whenever it's up. How much percentage is it up over the past couple of weeks here, over the past month? 35%, 40%. Yeah. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. 103K is definitely not appealing. I'm glad that I've been fully allocated into crypto for months now. With the exception of some like short-term trade positions. But we allocated back into the markets too before everything started moving up. So I'm not worried about that at all. The 4-hour RSI is a little bit overbought. We have found resistance where we normally find resistance in the 4-hour RSI, whether it's just below or just above, kind of in this area of like the 86 that happens. It wouldn't surprise me if the price continues to pull back a little bit, or if it doesn't pull back, it'll keep doing what it's doing here, which is just moving sideways, which I know sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy that Bitcoin might, instead of pumping or dumping, it might just move sideways. But is it crazy? Is it that crazy? I don't think it's that crazy, you guys. It doesn't seem to be crazy, at least not in my opinion, that we could just move sideways, let our RSI cool off, and then continue to run higher, because that's exactly what we've done the last 2 times in a row now. Maybe because we've done that 2 times in a row, people will catch on. We'll start to move sideways. And then inevitably we do dump and we get one little pullback. That's fine, But again, my question to you is whoever's praying beyond all prayers that we get some kind of a pullback to 97K when we're at 103K. It's not that big of a difference. Are you really praying on this move to happen when you fully anticipate this move to happen afterwards or even beforewards? And we don't even know if this, because again, you don't know if this low is going to come. You're hoping it does. You're praying it does. You're hoping you get a second chance. I messed up. I should have bought here. I knew I should have. I messed up. I should have bought here. I knew I should have. You're praying. You're hoping. Beyond all disbelief, you're hoping and praying. But the reality is this move that you're hoping for, just to catch this move like that, like what? You want to add a little bit to it? Just get in. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but just get in, man. Get in. I'm the same guy that was saying these exact same words every step of the way here from November. Right here I was saying the same thing. Right here I was saying the same thing. And it was all true for over a month, man. And then of course once we got to the top here, months later, that's whenever we start pulling back. It's not going to be good every step of the way, but notice where we were here, where it probably retrospectively wasn't a good time to buy or encourage people to buy, provide the sense of urgency. I mean, relatively speaking, sure, but inevitably, no. You would have had a better chance to buy at lower prices if you just waited 6 months. But relatively here to this move where we were there, you were dramatically higher than your all-time highs. We're not even above our all-time highs right now. We're not even there. We're nowhere close. We've got so much room to go. And if you wait, you're going to get slept on, man. You're going to get passed up on, right? Progress doesn't wait. It doesn't wait. You either get in the way of it or you get the hell out of the way. But progress keeps progressing. It just keeps doing its thing. And this thing wants to progress. It absolutely does. It wouldn't surprise me if, maybe today we do close neutral or red a little bit, or even just slightly green. We pull back this 4-hour RSI. We bounce off the overbought zone, and then we get our next drive up, right? We did the same thing last time where we got overbought, bounced off the overbought zone. And then our next drive, look at this. Broke out of our sideways movement here, right? You see that sideways phase right there on our initial breakout. We moved sideways here too, right? But this is the first one where we moved sideways for like 10 days. And then we had our initial breakout. We got overbought on the 4-hour, pulled back to the overbought zone, bounced off of that. Look at how much more we grew after that. The move to come was way bigger. And then we consolidated. This is why I don't think that we're done here. We've gotten our initial breakout of this sideways consolidation phase. Does that sound familiar? It's kind of like exactly like what we did back here. We consolidated, we moved sideways, we didn't pull back, we consolidated. We found a support area at the overbought zone. We might be finding a support area at the overbought zone. And then in the same kind of essence of this move, the move that comes was bigger than the move that led it. This move is pretty big that led up to here. It's very possible that if we bounce off the overbought zone and we see stronger readings, it's very possible that this next move to come over the coming days could take us to new all-time highs, guys. It could really be bigger, if not of a similar magnitude, but at the very least something that's higher. And then we'll start to pull back, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but it really wouldn't surprise me if the next consolidation phase, it's not here, but it's at a higher price. It wouldn't surprise me if the next consolidation phase where the lows are right here, right? And not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But out of this whole consolidation phase right here, my question to you would be, because here's the perspective I'm offering. I'm saying right now that we're not done with this move. We're consolidating a little bit, but we're going to move back up higher. When we move higher, I'm theorizing that when we pull back, where we pull back to, maybe we move up to 115K, maybe we move up to 109K, but what I'm saying is the lows of that move to come, whenever we consolidate, when we move sideways again or whatever, and we consolidate before moving up higher again, the lows are going to be probably right where we are now. And you hear that and you're like, oh, okay, that's an opportunity to buy. But here's my question to you in that perspective. And it is an opportunity to buy. It is. How many people who bought in this area do you think actually bought the lows? Do you think the majority bought the lows, or do you think the minority bought the lows? How many people in this area bought the highs? Do you think the majority or the minority bought the highs? I would say the minority bought the lows, the majority bought the highs. That's probably what happened. So if you're counting on, well, I can just wait. It'll go up, and then if it comes back, maybe it comes down here, and I'll be able to buy there. Well, you're counting on buying the exact low. So maybe, and maybe it happens. All these maybes, these maybe mights, they might happen. But the whole point of this video is to provide a sense of urgency. Maybe might not cut it out, man. It just might not. Maybe might not. How about definitely will go to 170 to 180K by the end of June, by early July? Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.